Hello and welcome. In this video, we'll be discussing how to do division with integers. And again, integers is just a fancy way of saying whole, and they include negatives, 0, and positives. So if you watch the multiplication video, this is going to be very familiar because division follows the exact same two rules that multiplication follow. So we have two situations. Either you're doing division with two numbers of the same sign, or you're doing division with two numbers of different signs. So if you're dividing a positive by another positive, or a negative by another negative, then your answer is going to turn out positive. If you're doing division with two numbers of different signs, like a positive divided by a negative or a negative divided by a positive, then your answer is going to turn out negative. So this works exactly like multiplication works. Let's try some examples. So I just want to reiterate before we begin that the division process doesn't change. So if you just ignore the signs, think of this as 24 divided by 6, I know my answer is going to be 4. It's just a matter of whether my answer is positive 4 or negative 4. So the division process, like the multiplication process, doesn't change. Okay, so in this first example, we have a positive divided by a negative. So the signs are different. That falls under rule number 2. Signs are different, so that means my answer is going to be negative. So in this case, 24 divided by negative 6 is going to yield negative 4. Example number 2, we've got negative 25 divided by negative 5. Signs are the same. That falls under rule number 1. And so I know my answer is going to be positive. Okay, the next one, negative 8 divided by 2. The signs are different. That falls under rule number 2. So I know my answer is going to be negative. And then finally, the last one, we've got positive 18 divided by positive 3. Signs are the same. That falls under rule number 1. So I know my answer is going to be positive. Okay, we're going to try 4 problems, and what I want you to do is to pause the video until you've had the opportunity to try each problem, and then restart it when you're ready. So the first one is that. Okay, and you should have gotten an answer of positive 5. The signs of the two numbers that you're dividing are the same, so that would fall under rule number 1. Okay, second example. Okay, in this example, the two numbers that we're using are different signs, and so that would fall under rule number 2. So my answer would be negative 5. Okay, the next example. So in this example, the two numbers that I'm using are the same sign, so that falls under rule number 1. So my answer is going to be positive. And then the last example, so again, in this example, the signs of the two numbers are different from one another, so that falls under rule number 2. So my answer is going to be negative.